Alright, now that we've got ourselves a surface, we have an alignment, we have a profile, we have our own construction profile, we have most of the parts that we need to make a basic assembly. We have most of the parts that we need to make a basic corridor. We need one more feature, and that piece would be an assembly. Whenever you go to make an assembly, it's going to basically zoom into the assembly that you create. So it's going to zoom into something that's going to be made at 1:1. And if you just look at your screen, right now we're looking at 1,500 feet for this distance and 15 for that, so we're at a pretty big scale. So if we're only going to make one assembly, I'd probably do this as well. Since we're going to make an assembly, I'd like to put it inside of a place that I can find in the future. So I want to draw a little circle. So we'll do C for circle. And I'm going to put a circle someplace over here that I can easily find in the future. Then go up here to assembly, say create assembly, because at this moment it says add assembly offset. I'm going to create an assembly, so click on that. Then I'm going to give it a name and call this one here 60-foot road section. Just how about 60-foot road? 60-foot road. I'm going to call it 60-foot road. Say OK. And then when I click inside the circle, I'm going to turn my snap off. Click inside the circle, it zooms into my assembly, and now all I can see is that. But if I zoom out, I can see that it's just zoomed in for me. Very convenient. Now what I'd like to do is add pieces to this to build a very simple road. To do that, I would go over here and click on the tool palettes. If they are working, and they should be, which they aren't always in class, they'll pop up this tool palette menu. And on the tool palettes, I would like to do a generic line or generic segment. I would like to use only two different pieces, link width and slope, and this one here, link slope to surface. There's a way to find out more information about these, but for now, this will be plenty. Alright, so here's my link width and slope. I'm going to click on that. It pops up my properties dialog. The reason it does that is because one of the features of this is here we can set the parameters. So since I want a road that's going to be 60 feet across, that'll give me 30 feet on each side. So I'm going to make that 30. And I want it to slope away from the ground. So I'm going to make this 2% at -2%. Say OK. Or not say OK, just click something else to let it accept it. Then when I click on my assembly with these pieces here, you can see that it puts in a 30-foot piece to the right. Huzzah! I'm going to change the right-hand side to left-hand side. And click on the assembly again, and we'll get a piece on the left. So far, so good. I'm going to shrink this up just a hair so I can have a little more screen space. I'm going to scooch that guy over and shrink it up a bit. Maybe not. Shrink it up a bit. Now I'm going to click over here and link slope to surface. This one here, what this is going to do is add a cut and fill guide to either side. So link slope to surface. I'm going to go in here and give it an extreme slope of say 3:1. And I'm going to put it on the left hand side. Zoom into here. There should be a node connection right here. Click on that. Now I've got a piece. Even though it looks like it's going to only do a strange cut at the moment, because the piece says cut and fill over here, it'll do both. It just doesn't draw it in on this particular tool. It's going to do a right hand side piece as well. Zoom in, do the same thing, click that circle. There we go. Now I've got a basic assembly created. I'm going to close up some of these so I've got my real estate back again. Alright. And maybe I should have put that in the middle. But if I click on the assembly, grab that point there, move it over there, we can see now this whole assembly is all attached. So this is one piece that is going to use whenever we track this along this alignment at the elevation of the surface. Well, in this case here, the elevation that we created, not the surface. But I'll show you the difference in just a moment.